video. So I'm doing today's video while I'm waiting on my temporary tattoos to get done, and that'll be in another video. So I have a butterfly right here, so be sure to tune into that video. It's the Inkbox video. So in today's video I'm talking about something that I think is going to interest us all. It's about fear. Fear. The thing that seems to hold most of us back from doing what we truly love and what we truly feel that we should be doing or that we want to do. Fear happens to everyone. It's totally natural. I'm scared a lot of times too. I mean, even to do this video, I got scared a little, but you know what? It's about facing these fears, right? So that's why I'm doing the video here now. I had to wait till I felt like doing it though. Let's put it that way. I'm at a point in my life where I'm challenging myself and facing a lot of my fears. I have fears when I do these videos. I have fears when I step on stage to display someone's beautiful work of art. I'm scared sometimes when I have to approach clients and I have to call clients. And I mean, there's no way to completely demolish fear. I think fear is here to help us in a sense. And fear is one of the drivers to letting you know that you're doing something that might be different, that might be for the first time. So it's a little scarier. It's something that you're not comfortable doing or used to doing, so you're outside of your comfort zone. That's usually when fear strikes. And so ultimately it's there to protect you. Because your brain loves what it's used to, and anything new, it just uses fear as a way to try to protect you. So what I've been helping myself do is get better at using fear to help me to stretch myself or to get better at some of the things that I want to tackle. So believe it or not, fear is just part of the process of growing, of doing something new, stretching yourself. And it's just all part of the journey of becoming a better person. So there's a couple ways that I use fear to help guide me. The first step, of course, is acknowledging my fear. So realizing that I'm feeling the discomfort, realizing that it just doesn't feel so good. And so when I'm experiencing fear, I notice that I get nervous and that I get uncomfortable. I might start, sweating and thinking the worst case scenario. And so acknowledging those symptoms is part of what's going to help me to use fear as a guide. So, but what I have learned is that you can't deny fear. You can't try to hide from it. You can't snap your fingers and make it disappear as much as we want to. We just gotta sense it, be aware of it, and use it for good. So once I started paying attention a lot more to what it is that I'm fearing, I have to break down my thoughts. I have to analyze what I'm thinking of when I'm feeling those sensations. So of course there are different types of fears. There is a true, real fear, like, oh my gosh, let me get out the way. That bus is coming and it's about to hit me. So let me get out the way. Oh my gosh, that was scary. So that's a legitimate type of fear. We need that fear for survival. And then there's the other fear. And I've noticed that it's all generally self-created. Like I just thought my way into fear. So that fear is not deadly. That fear is more rooted into my very own insecurities and my very own self-doubt. It's always going to be there. You just have to learn to tame it. And I'm learning to tame it. I'm learning to notice it, and I'm learning to tame it. So the ones that are rooted in my self-doubt and in my own insecurities are the ones that I'll use as a guide. And it's usually a guide to get me to where I need to be or that I want to be. So you guys ever heard of the more that something scares you probably means the more that you have to do that thing that scares you? I'm starting to realize that that's true. Me, modeling, that scares me. But I use my fear of that to guide me. So I'm making sure I'm actively pursuing a modeling career. Not only because it scares me, but it's something that brings me joy. I enjoy doing it. And so I want to get better at it. And so I'm using fear as my guide. And you know what? A lot of times I'm realizing too that the things that scare us the most are the things that mean the most to us. And those things are what help us grow the most. And that gets us closer to whatever it is our goals are or our dreams are. In my case, closer to what my dream is. So basically, it's like this. This circle right here, that's my comfort zone. I mean, it's like fear is the barrier when you step outside of this comfort zone. And that if you get past that fear, you'll get to this magical place in which you stretch, you grow, you learn, you live. So but keep in mind that fear is not going to disappear. It's always going to be there. It's just a matter of acknowledging it, understanding it, and doing it anyways. So you can either let it stop you or you could do it anyways with the fear. It's just a guide that just might be what it is that you need to do. And so that's what I'm taking fear as. It's something that I need to do because it's something that scares me. And it feels so good when you overcome that fear. Or when you get through it and then you're like, oh my gosh, that wasn't so bad. Oh my gosh, that was just all up in my head. And so that in itself serves as motivation. And so it just helps us to become more of who we want to be. So naturally, when you're growing, when things are changing for you, they're going to feel uncomfortable and scary. But don't let that stop you if it's something that you know you need to do. And so if you let that fear stop you, you just won't go anywhere. And is that okay? It's absolutely okay. But if it's not okay when you know that that's what you need to do or that's what you want to do, you just have to keep working towards what it is that you want to do. And keep in mind that nothing happens overnight, so it's going to take practice. It's going to take practice. And so you'll face that fear, and then there'll be a next fear. You'll face that fear, you'll overcome that one too, but then there'll be another fear because you're going to always be stretching yourself to get out of that new comfort zone and to get out of that comfort zone and to grow and to become a better you ultimately. So I think facing your fears is very important because it helps you to push boundaries and it helps you to stretch yourself, it helps you to grow, and it helps you to fulfill your potential. We all have endless amount of potential, and so it helps us to work towards whatever it is that we want to work towards. So let fear be your guide. Let it take you wherever it is that your heart desires, wherever it is that you know you need to be, doing whatever it is that you know you need to do that's going to nurture you, your being, and it'll help somebody, and it might help somebody else along the way. And so when you're in a situation like that, you know that what you're overcoming is going to help somebody else. I mean, why not, right? So I see fear now as something that I use now as a guide to allow me to do something that at some point I thought was impossible, or that I probably couldn't be doing because I doubted myself. And so a classic example is me today. Actually, earlier I had a class, a modeling class given by Aubrey Ebony, and she gave a class on posing. And so I was in a class and I was like, ooh, 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 yes. I was like just doing it, right? But then when I got in front of the photographer, I was all up in my head. And so fear came and was like, you thought you was bad, weren't you? But I'm still here. And so I struggled with putting that fear in my pocket and keeping it contained. But I conquered that fear today because I did it anyways. No matter how uncomfortable it was, no matter how nervous I was, because Lord knows, let me tell you, I was nervous, okay? And every time I face another fear, I feel so much more empowered and so much more proud of myself for doing it anyways. Something as simple as sitting in front of this camera. Doing it anyways, something as simple as being in front of a photographer and posing. Let me pat myself on the back because I had a great class / shoot today. And I'll actually put a little clip of that class on this video. Clip was taken for me by, I'm looking at her page now. I can't wait to like actually go look at her page and to deep dive into her page on Instagram. It's Good Anna 26, GOODE_Anna, ANNA 26. And I'm so glad to have met her today in my class. And so she was kind enough to take a video clip for me. And so, yeah, I mean, facing your fears too, it's just, it brings you to a whole nother level because you experience something different. And that new experience in itself, it helps to open up other experiences for you. And so, thank you so much for tuning in and for watching this video. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you're thinking, you're feeling. I hope you're feeling good. I hope this video serves you well. Much love.